we're trying to fix now. What we need to do, not that torch, so we need to modify these brackets under here. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to cut here straight across there, and this will drop, and then down here to drop that out. From there we'll have another piece of steel welded in here to bring this all down flush, and then there'll be another piece of steel overlapping on there, because as you can see, once we lift, this will foul on here, so that we want to step it out here, and that will give it some more bracing. We're also going to put a bit more angle iron on there, so that when this arm lifts up we can re-drill this hole lower down, because the bolt on the other side will foul on the chassis otherwise, so it needs to come down lower. And that's our plan at the moment, and that should be really all that needs to be modified to lift the bar, but we'll see how we go. Right, so as you can see, this is the bracket here we need to modify. Need to cut it across here, so cut through there, cut that off. Level with this here, we're going to cut across there, right across, and cut that bottom bit off. And then we'll have a rectangle plate welded back along there to bring it lower down. So we can put these holes lower, this hole down lower, these holes will go down lower. And then we'll have another plate that will be patched on the side to clear this. And it'll be shaped right up to the edge, so it'll strengthen all that weld area there. And then we'll just re-drill that hole in the same spot as that goes through to the winch mount. And then this angle that goes on there, we'll simply weld another piece on the bottom of it here, so that we can put that bottom hole lower down as well. As you can see in here, these are the blocks I've used, the aluminium blocks with the 10.9 high tensile bolts, and just inside there is the extension for the intercooler hose. And as we get further through, I'll show you more. Okay, so what we've got here is, this is the bit I'm going to cut off. Cut this, and that will be welded under here. It's along here, so that will, this bit here, and that will then give us obviously the extra length on the bottom to re-drill the holes lower and shape that back to the correct shape. And then with this bit here, we'll have another bit that will overlap there, so that'll add some strength to it, and that'll also join this bit here back up, so it'll be making sure. Alrighty, so as you can see, I've cut this bit away. That was how it was before. Cut this away. I've got another piece here. It is just going to sit here like that, and then obviously I'll shape that, and the bottom will get shaped as well once it's done. And then I've got another piece here that will just sit up there and overlap, so then that'll strengthen all this, and obviously I just have to re-drill all these holes and shape the bottom, give the bottom some shape again, and then once that's done I can just re-drill all the holes and it's good to go. What I will be doing also is I'll be putting some angle iron on the bottom of these, just to extend this. Sorry, I'm trying to. So basically, what I want to do is extend this bottom down a bit too, so that this hole here can be re-drilled lower down, because that actually locates on this. Sorry, there's a hole down here for it that it needs to go onto. So we'll be coming lower down and re-drilling that hole as well. So basically now we've just got to weld it all up, and then we can cut it to shape. And I'm undecided as to whether I'm just going to paint them or take them down and get them recoated. I think coating would be the best option. So we'll touch back later. Okay, welcome back. Right, so where we're at now, so I've had the brackets, and we've now got the plates welded on there. As you can see, this is one plate here, straight across here. Got the other one that overlaps on there, and make sure you strengthen it up nice and be all good. What I've also done is to relocate, so I can shape this and I can relocate the holes that need to be re-drilled lower down. Basically that should be done once I drill them and cut it all to shape. Obviously it's not going to be the exact same shape, but this bit here will, and those holes will be in the exact spot. This bit here, none of that matters, so I'll just round these edges off and make it look nice and neat. What I have mainly for my shaping is I just have a router with a CNC machine bit, a HSC 55 for steel, 4-flute CNC bit, and I'll just use that to shape the edge, and hopefully we get a good job, and we'll touch back once I get a little bit done. Okay, so these are all marked out. Basically what we're going to do is just bring this edge straight across here, and get rid of that bottom bit there, and then we'll get rid of this bit here, and these are the 3 holes that need to be relocated so that we can bolt it to the chassis, and then we'll get them coated and bolt it all back on once it's shaped, and that's about it. So I'll start doing that now and see how we go. Alright, so here we go. Brackets are done, all coated, ready to go back on. As you can see, here's our join mark here with our plate over the top. Looks pretty strong. Obviously this is where our recovery point comes onto, so it's good to have this bracing that. So this is going to take up, spread the load out. All the holes are relocated. You can see there where it's been joined on, and holes have been relocated lower down so that we can make the most of our mounting points, and yeah, hopefully it all goes together well, and I'll start reassembling now. Okay, I'm calling it quits for the night. It's almost there. The front bar's pretty much on. I've got to put the inner wheel guards on and the mud guards there. As you can see, everything lines up really nice. I'm real happy with it. It's lined up beautiful. Put around this side, so I reckon it lines up a bit better than it did before I modified it. I do have to pull this plate off, which I was expecting. It's bolted on now, but as you can see, it doesn't line up because of the angles. I was worried that it was going to foul on this bit here that you cut off, but it clears that. So I just need to get it re-bent. It's probably a bit thick for me to do myself, so I'll have to take it to the sheet metal joint and get them to use their bender and just reshape it so that it actually sits on properly. But otherwise I'm really happy. If I can find my torch somewhere. Sorry, I've got a mess going on here. I don't have a lot of space to work with, but I do have a torch somewhere. Hope it's not still up in there. There it is. So I'll give you a quick look at what I've done. As you can see under here, basically the bolts that needed to be relocated were obviously this one here. That was the original hole there, so that obviously had to come lower down to go into here. Same as this one. Obviously this one had to come down, and the same here. I had to re-drill the hole lower down here to get this one in. Then obviously these two need to be relocated, and this one here, oh, that's loose. I might need to nip that up. And I drilled that one by mistake. That was the original hole, but it's now in here. And that was really it. It was only those 5 bolts that had to be relocated, and that's it. It all worked out really good, and I'm really pleased with it. So tomorrow I'll come down and I'll put the last few pieces onto it, and that should be it. Once I get that plate re-bent, that's it, job done. So I'll see you sometime tomorrow. Okay, here we go, job complete. 50mm lift in, brackets are modified under here. So this hole got relocated to here, this hole here got relocated there, obviously these two relocated down, and this one relocated down here, and that was it. It all went back together really well. I've got the extension up in there, I don't know if you can see the extension for the intercooler hose. I need to shorten the one on the other side for the top, as it's bent out of shape and I'm not happy with it. It's going to restrict the flow, so I've got to go and get a new piece tomorrow, and then I'll cut a 50mm section out of it and rejoin it. It all lined up really well, really happy with it. I've got to get this modified. As you can see, it doesn't line up right, just because it's 50mm down now, so I'll get it all bent up during the week and get all that lined up properly. Everything lines up really well, same as this side. Really happy with the way it's lined up. This is the other bracket here modified. Obviously there are the blocks in there. I used aluminium. I don't like the polypropylene ones. They squash over a little bit of time, so I really don't agree with using them. As you can see, now the lowest point of the car is the chassis rail, and I've got custom sliders being built to sit up with the body to allow for the 50mm lift. So basically I'll just have sill protection. I won't really gain any height, I'll just have a bit of protection on the sill. One thing that I will do is, as you can see, this fuel tank's been copping a flogging. All these brackets are all bent up. But now that I've lifted the body, it gives me more room above the tank itself. So my plan now is to actually move that tank up, because that sits low on the chassis rail, which to me is really stupid. So I'm going to actually make a whole new protection for the fuel tank, which will also push it up 50mm, so it'll tuck up a bit higher and it shouldn't cop a flogging like it is. It's just really stupid design. I don't know who makes the fuel tank the lowest part of the car. What else? I've modified the spare wheel mechanism. I can't show you because I've got the wheel back in now, but that was really easy. You just unbolt it. There's 2 bolts. Unbolt it, put a spacer in there, and then bolt it back down so it lines back up. This hole obviously no longer lines up. I didn't bother cutting this out because I'm getting rid of this bar anyway a bit later. Same as, obviously these are just double-sided tape on with some lugs, so I cut the lugs off and then double-sided them back on. I'm not too fussed about it. Same here, I re-drilled this hole just to give it a little bit of support, but I'm not really worried about the rear bar at the moment because I'm getting a new one. So yeah, I haven't even looked at how hard it'd be to lift these rear bars. I'm sure I think it'd be a pretty shit job being the way they mount to the chassis. As you can see, it gives me a lot more clearance in the wheel arches. Not that I needed it. So that's about it, as you can see. Really happy with it. So a couple of little modifications to do. That front bar being one of them. And that's it.